It's December 4th, 2017, and earlier this afternoon, John Podesta was interviewed by the House Intelligence Committee over his the funding of the dossier against Donald Trump. This is a return appearance for the former Clinton campaign chairman, Podesta. There are a few quotes from Mike Conaway. He said that the committee was following up on questions that they had as a result of subsequent revelations with respect to Fusion and Glenn Simpson. This seems to be in reference to the recent disclosure. Of course, there's been this recent disclosure that Clinton's campaign, along with the Democratic National Committee, both helped fund a controversial dossier. It's been called a phony dossier of opposition research, was largely discredited. It's been revealed that it was funded by the Clinton campaign and the DNC into then candidate Donald Trump at the time. Podesta answered all questions, according to Conaway, at this interview, although he declined to comment further. The original article on this from The Hill reminds us that Podesta has in the past been of interest to the committee over his personal email account. They say the hack, the leak of his email, some would say, by suspected Russian operatives, or at least that's what the mainstream media and Podesta himself have been pushing. Again, so a lot of people believe that it was a leak. There's probably more evidence, I would say, to support that theory. The contents were later released in batches on the anti-secrecy platform WikiLeaks in the lead up to the November 8th election. The Podesta leaks ended up spreading across the internet afterward. It was a steady drip, drip, drip of minor revelations that were politically damaging to Clinton. They say minor. There are, of course, some more serious things that people were investigating that came up through the Podesta leaks as well. Finally, this article says that this was following, of course, the previous closed door place in June. It also included Podesta. And they point out that Podesta, as well as former Democratic National Committee Chairwoman Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, they have both privately denied to congressional Russia investigators that they had any knowledge about the arrangement brokered by the DNC's law firm to pay for this opposition research into Trump. This is what CNN reported. This is what Podesta is claiming. So a lot of evidence. There's already evidence popping up in the short time that this revelation has come out that suggests that John Podesta is not telling the truth over the funding of this dossier. This was an article from the Daily Caller, which points out the meeting that was mentioned in this previous article, that this interview, they included questions about Glenn Simpson and John Podesta's meeting with him. This Daily Caller article expands on that a little bit further. It reads, Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta met with the founder of the opposition research firm behind the Trump dossier just after the dirty document was published earlier this year. So according to a new report in the New York Times, the revelation is significant because Podesta, a longtime Democratic operative, recently told the Senate Intelligence Committee, this was in his previous interview with them, he claimed that he did not know who paid the research firm Fusion GPS to produce this dossier, which BuzzFeed published on January 10th. An associate of Podesta's told the Times that he met with Glenn Simpson, the founding partner of Fusion GPS. He met with him to compare notes about Russia's meddling in the election, is what Podesta's saying. Podesta's associate is also claiming that Simpson was considering whether this firm should continue its investigation of Trump's alleged ties to Russia. The Times report, however, does not say whether Podesta and Simpson discussed the Clinton campaign's involvement in the dossier project. I'm sure he would deny that, but you would imagine that they did discuss that as well. They point out that it was reported last month that the law firm that represented the Clinton campaign and the DNC hired Fusion GPS in April 2016 to investigate Trump. Fusion hired former British spy Christopher Steele that June to investigate Trump's activities in Russia. Perkins Coie paid Fusion GPS just over $1 million for its work on the project, while Fusion paid Steele $168,000. Nobody on the Clinton campaign has come forward to acknowledge that they knew anything about the Dossier project prior to the salacious report being published. Hillary Clinton herself has said that she did not know of Fusion's involvement until it was reported this January, is what Hillary Clinton is claiming. Campaign manager Robbie Mook had hinted in a recent interview that he was vaguely aware of the opposition research project and received briefings on some information about Trump, but he said that he did not know of Fusion's and Steele's involvement. Podesta had previously testified before the Senate Intelligence Committee before it was publicly revealed that Clinton and her campaign, as well as the DNC, had hired Fusion GPS. In that interview, Podesta denied knowing anything about who paid for the investigation. Podesta was joined in the interview, this prior interview, by Mark Elias, his attorney and the general counsel for the Clinton campaign and the DNC. He is also a partner at this aforementioned law firm, which was directly involved in hiring Fusion GPS. But according to CNN, again, if you're going to take CNN likely at the suggestion of Podesta's word for it, they're saying he did not acknowledge in the Senate interview that he was involved in paying Fusion. This is another report from when this revelation about the funding of this dossier first broke. It was over a month ago now, which just points out a few other details that elaborate on the fact that Hillary Clinton must have knew about this. She must have known about this funding, although she has denied it. This was a report from the New York Post. They quote Brian Fallon, or Hillary Clinton, her awareness of the dossier and its financing. Former campaign spokesman Brian Fallon told CNN on her behalf, quote, "She may have known, but the degree of exactly what she knew is beyond my knowledge." When asked to clarify, he waffled, according to this article, saying that Clinton, quote, "may or may not have been aware." Former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz said that she too was, quote, "not aware of anything related to this research arrangement." Yet they point out it's clear that the senior-most officials in the Clinton campaign and the DNC, you would imagine Hillary and Debbie Wasserman Schultz among them, they would have to be aware of the dossier. After all, public FEC filings show that the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid this law firm a combined $12.4 million. What was this money for? One of us served as a campaign strategist and advisor for as many as 4 decades, and the other served as an elected official for 25 years. With both having extensive experience in campaign budgetary decision-making, the suggestion that top officials in the Clinton campaign, including Clinton herself and the DNC, weren't fully aware of the research that their general counsel was commissioning strains credulity. With more than 380 payments from the Clinton campaign and the DNC being made to this law firm, it is seemingly impossible that the candidate herself would not have direct knowledge of the purpose of those payments or any earmarks being made, especially those for Fusion GPS. Again, we have both operated in campaign settings of this nature before. The writer of this article says, as strategists and as candidates for this significant amount of money, the candidate would fully understand its use and they must have authorized its purpose as well. As if these revelations about Hillary Clinton's culpability in the Steele dossier weren't enough, there are more troubling developments concerning deals she struck on behalf of our country as Secretary of State. And they go back to a report from the time on an FBI informant with additional critical information on Russia's potential influence campaign. in the Clinton State Department, which was cleared by the Department of Justice to testify before Congress. I have that article linked in the description of this video, but I did want to just briefly touch on that interview, the second interview now with John Podesta and the House Intelligence Committee. Let me know what you think about these most recent developments. If you could leave a comment and let me know what you think, I'll follow up as more information comes out. If you leave a like on this video, it's greatly appreciated, and subscribe to the channel. I'm also on patreon.com. Just a reminder, patreon.com/realityreader. Thank you everybody that has donated there. Gives me some extra time and resources to put back on the channel, keep reporting on these issues. I have a link to that as well as the articles in the description of this video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks, everyone.